Go.
So Sid's dad, Mr. Crosby,
Troy.
we'd see him around often.
Great man, legendary man.
Awesome dude. So we'd see him around. So it's when I was playing in Pittsburgh. So we all know, and you've all heard the stories how superstitious Sid is, right? You guys are aware.
Freak.
Yeah, like really, like, and I'm telling you from seeing it, like really superstitious to the point where you're almost like, I don't know how you function, but clearly it's working for him because he's top 5 player to ever play the game. Anyways, so Troy was in town for a week, and he ended up coming in, and Sid was in this point streak, and the boys said, I think it was Brooks Orpik. One of the guys said, hey, listen, Troy, when he goes into he's like, it's like a practice day, and he was like by the locker room, and he's like, when he goes into the restroom, he only pees in the same urinal. He won't pee in any of the other urinals because it's like he wants to replicate everything he's done because Sid's in the streak. So the boys would just fuck with him. And whenever Troy would go in the bathroom, they'd go to that urinal, and there'd be 4 other urinals open, and Troy wouldn't go in them. So Mr. Crosby would just stand there and wait, and then another guy would run in there and get in there and start peeing, and Troy's like stand. And we just kept getting guys to jet in there, and we're like trying to and he wouldn't, dude. This dude would just stay there and only piss in the one urinal. I'm like, this is dedication from dad, from kid. That's why this kid's great, man. He's got everything working in his favor. The stars are aligning for Sidney Crosby because his dad won't piss anywhere else. But the one urinal, I love it.
Hey, quick question. I didn't know he was superstitious. That kind of freaks me out a little bit because, I mean, that means you're living and dying with a set of things mentally every single day. Is it like little things? Is it like he won't go out on the practice ice unless he has a certain thing on, or he taps a wall a certain amount of times, or he does piss in the same stall and grumpy in the same place? Like, what is it? What is it?
He, so when we got Paul Martin, and I play with Paulie in New Jersey, and I don't remember who departed the year before, but you know how we got the fighting straps on our jerseys, and sometimes guys like to have someone help them and tie those fighting straps on the loop of their pants. And so Sid would always get ready, and at the same exact time on the clock before we go out, say, I'm just making up the time, I don't remember, maybe it was 3 minutes and if I had to assume that had something to do with an 8 and a 7 of some sorts, but you know what I mean? There was some time on the clock where he would sit there and watch the clock. And then when the clock hit that number, he would get someone, the same person, to tie up his fighting strap. And he didn't have anybody this year to do it. And Paulie Martin was a new one. And he starts walking over to Paulie and asks Paul to do it. And innocent Paul Martin standing there is like, sure, I'll do it. Sidney Crosby asked me to fucking put his tie down on. And we're all like, no, because you got to do it forever. You're going to have to do it forever. You're going to have to do it forever. And you not just do it forever, you have to do it at that moment. So if you have your shit to take care of, it's got to stop. You got to go tie Sid's tie down. So, yeah, I mean, he has a lot of little things like that. He used to sit there and he'd go get tape. So he'd go get tape to tape his shin pads. And he walked to the middle of the room, no matter home or away, he'd grab a roll of tape. And wherever the tape was in the room, he'd grab the roll of tape. And then like the bench where his stall was, he would throw it and he'd have to land it on the bench. And if it hit the bench, hit the back wall, came on the floor, fell on the floor, he'd go pick it up, walk back, stand there, saucer it again with his hand. He would do it 10 times if he had to. And he would not he wouldn't even get like animated at all. He would just be very serious, just throw it, just walk up, grab it, go back. He'd do it 10 times. I'm like, this dude, I don't know. Maybe I should have tried some of that shit.
Yeah, Rupper, someone told a story. Gumpy, you may know this. I don't remember who was telling the story, but it was about Sid in the locker room, and he was on a point streak. And before the games, he would go up to this particular player, and he would ask him what they did. I think it was like over the weekend or something. And he had to tell the story word for word about what he did over the weekend every night to Sid before he went onto the ice, or he's just a maniac.
He did that. The story, the one story that's similar to that. Who is the guy? Oh my gosh, I'm going blank. I love him. He's a great dude, which doesn't really sound like I remember his name.
Marc-Andre Fleury.
No, those are great dudes too. But he's the radio guy in St. Louis now. Remember, he's a role playing guy. Oh my gosh,
Joe Buck.
Joe, you said Joe Vitale. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
It was Joe Vitale.
Wow.
It was Joe
Vitale.
Vitale.
So no, you got it right there. What he did is a song would play. And the way it was is like the same songs would play leading up to going out for every team. So it's not just a Pittsburgh superstitious thing. So the same song would play. And I remember hearing Joey V talk about this. And Sid would walk up to him as they're going out, and he would be like, and apparently that song was like the theme song for his trip to Italy or something in the summer. And he came up to Joey V and he's like, yeah, this song was like the theme for our trip in the summer. And Joey V's like, oh, cool. And he went out and said probably whatever he did, got 2 goals. The next game, this song's pretty sick, right? This was our theme song for the trip to Italy. Goes out there, has another good game. And Joey V had to do this. He said for like 8 games, 11 games, whatever it was, every game. And then he's finally like after 3 or 4, he's like, holy shit, this dude has like he's like, he needs this. And Sid would come up and be like, dude, this is a great tune, right? Like this is our theme song.
That was it.
It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Sid doesn't enjoy his life at all.
No, I don't find it doesn't like consume him though. That's weird. It's just like he doesn't get like he's not one of those that like has to touch everything 4 times, like not like that. He's not like OCD like that. It's just
some things.
It's just I don't know what it is.
Everybody knows the warm-up routine where he has to go out on the ice and he has to stick handle around the McDonald's M, the sponsorship that's painted on the ice. Was there any other stuff like that he had to do that you noticed?
I don't remember anything like that. I know in practice, before practice and post practice, every day looked exactly the same. He would do this stick handling and kind of just, he'd go in the net, he'd take all the pucks, put it right at the top of the crease, and he would take pucks and just take, one to the forehand this way upstairs, and then go stick handle, backhand upstairs. And just do this every day. So like before practice, the one end of the ice was basically Sid's end, and he would do all of his stuff. So, but he's, dude, I don't know. It never, I mean, it didn't seem like it didn't consume him though. Like he would just do, Pascal Dupuis told me the one time he had Sid over for dinner, and Sid got there when it was light out, and he walked through the garage to enter the house, right? Walked through the garage, entered the house, went into the house, had dinner. They're hanging out. Probably got dark out. Yeah. Duper probably closed the garage door because it's nighttime. And then when it was time to go, they walked Sid to the front door, and they're like, all right, buddy, yeah, whatever. I'm just paraphrasing, like, saying bye to him. And Sid's like, do you care if I go out your garage? And he's like, what? And he has to retrace his steps. So he comes in one way. It's like he has to erase his steps coming out. I don't know if he still does that. I don't know. That's what Duper said. I fucking love it. I think, honestly, guys, I think we've all been living our lives the wrong way. If I'm being honest.
Oh man, I did not know any of this. I feel like I just learned so much about the greatest of all time, and now I know what CFO Phil's kid, Lil Phil, is going to have to do from this point going forward to become the next great American hockey hope. All right.